Everybody, and welcome to the review of the Sharks versus Edinburgh quarter-final clash in the European Challenge Cup as the Sharks hosted um, the Scottish Capital Club in their second meeting in quick succession after the Sharks beat them in the URC not even a month ago. It was a strong start from Edinburgh as they capitalised off some penalties from the Sharks, which was consistent in the first half. Lots of penalties conceded as they took a 6-0 lead. This was until there was a try from Lecanio a well-worked kind of loose ball play, which managed to get the ball out wide where Zola Mapimpi, who kicks it over, chips it over the top of the left wing, manages to regather it inside ball to Lecanio and gets over the whitewash, which saw them lead 7 points to 6. That was until another phenomenal try, this time with a little dink over the top from Sia Masuku, getting the ball back. One phase down and wide ball. It goes Eben Etzebeth passing it to James Venter in the end, who went over in the right-hand corner with the conversion successfully made on both tries by Sia Masuku as the Sharks led by 14 points to 6. That was until Eben Etzebeth got carded in the 30th minute as the Sharks went down to 14 men and allowed the Scottish side, Edinburgh, back into the game as Pierre Skuman went over the whitewash with a little dummy with Ben Healy kicking that conversion and another penalty just before the halftime break as the half ended 16 points to 14 to Edinburgh. This was all the fun that Edinburgh unfortunately could have if you are a Scottish fan, and just Sharks edging this one slowly getting back into the game with two penalties from Sia Masuku in the 48th and 52nd minute as they regained the lead 20 points to 16. And this was until Wangi Munambi managed to get over the whitewash with a lovely swan dive off the back of a maul where it seemed that the maul parted like the Red Sea for the Springbok hooker just to go over the whitewash before being subbed. This was duly converted by Masuku, which was followed up by another conversion by Masuku, which took the Sharks to a 33 points to 16 lead with 10 minutes to play. Really looked like the game was gone until Hamish Watson managed to get over the whitewash finally for Edinburgh's first points of the second half with the conversion from Healy, taking it to 33 points to 23. This was created a bit of an excitement up until the 78th minute when Cohen Bosch, the sub for Masuku, managed to get the penalty over. And then finally there was a consolation try from Dave Cherry, the reserve hooker, again converted by Ben Healy. The kind of points ending 36 points to 30, which does on paper look like a much closer game than I think it was. And I think the Sharks really in that second half just blew them out of the water as they couldn't really keep up. Looking at a couple of the stats, though, essentially pretty similar on meters made. Sharks were 309 to 299, passes 104 to 93, territory. Edinburgh actually having more of the territory, 54% to 46. Also, again, similar in tackles made, tackle success quite high, and a lot of turnovers won, to be fair, 3-1 to Edinburgh. But really, it was that second half, and it was really at scrum time that the Sharks showed their dominance and just absolutely breaking down the Edinburgh scrum and just not letting them settle and win a lot of that set piece ball. Lineouts on either side weren't perfect. Lots of turnovers there, but it was really just the consecutive penalties in the second half that Edinburgh kept on conceding that allowed first of all Sharks to regain the lead and then to just get away with it. And yeah, phenomenal display, man of the match from Sia Masuku, who after an early penalty miss which was one of the most simple kicks that you will ever see on a rugby pitch, and probably the biggest miss I've ever seen from someone at this level. Regained his composure and really put in a phenomenal performance. It's been a massive boost for the Sharks as they have found a bit of form just at the right time of the season, while the URC is out of their reach. The Champions Cup is absolutely not. So what does this mean? This means that Edinburgh, unfortunately, out of Europe for this season, as they'll have to try and qualify for it again next season, see how far they can get. But the Sharks will move on to London, of all places, where they'll be playing Claremont. So no semifinals are allowed to be hosted by South African nations, which I think is absolute nonsense. But they have chosen the Stoop as their away home venue, if you could call it that, being the Harlequin Stadium. And that'll be in a couple of weeks' time. We're back to domestic rugby or domestic competitions. Also, it'll be the URC in the next couple of weeks, but I'm looking forward to that as Claremont dismantled Ulster. So 2 convincing wins from the winning teams. Although the 36 points to 30 might not reflect that, I think it really was a dominant display from the Sharks. But that is your review. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Please smash a like on the video, and I'll chat to you soon.